Well, hello, friends, and welcome to episode 17 of The Companion to the Companion. Tonight we are discussing the absolutely fabulous and well-known show 6/18/94 at the UIC Pavilion in Chicago, Illinois. And I am here with Ian, as always, and we are pumped to talk about the show. If I had to make a top 10 list without listening to the rest of the shows on this 100, this would be on it. So we got a lot of history with it, and it's widely known and widely regarded, and in every way deserves it. So let's get into it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with everything you just said, and what a wonderful night of Phish music. And as much as I love these conversations, and as sometimes I do love the conversation more than I love the show, but this isn't going to be one of those shows. In this case, no matter how good this conversation goes, it's not going to be as good as this show. But
we're going to try. We're going to try, though. We're really going to try. I'm going to put in the effort.
All right. So here it is. UIC Pavilion. Sam, give us a little context to the technicalities of the...
Oh, do I have details? So this is Phish's first show here. And just in general, June 94, come on. This run of shows we're talking about is a special point of Phish history, and special for me because I really got into the band around this time. My first show was July 94. These were some early tapes that I got. A lot of this run in general. And this one was leaked on Soundboard, and there's great sounding copies out there. But I also recommend purchasing the Chicago 94 box set.
Absolutely.
Or getting on Live Phish and checking it out. It's released with 11/25/94, which is the fall at the same venue, and those were the only two shows they played there. That's about 8,500 people. Kind of an interesting blah, venue. Nothing to write home about from what it looks like. They played there twice in 94 and then outgrew it pretty quick. And I think the big exciting thing was the year before, a fan shot video started to leak. So you could find individual songs online. And then just a few months ago, the full thing was released on YouTube. So you can go watch the whole show. And I think the audio to it is pretty good. I think if I was nerdy enough, I'd try and sync up the soundboards with the video at the same time. But it's really fun to be able to watch.
Yeah, I listened to it on my headphones, and I thought it was great. I enjoyed.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to watch it for as long as I did, and I put it on, and I was just kind of. I think there is something about the energy that the band puts out. Not obviously musically, but even visually, just looking at them. I mean, the way. Mike is completely frozen, eyes closed, and he's just sort of floating on a cloud, and Trey is so animated and just so fun to watch,
and the mop top,
and Paige is just so dreamy, as always.
And the Minkin backdrops.
The Minkin backdrops.
I always forget about the Minkin backdrops. It was a well shot video for someone just probably with a camcorder in the audience.
Right.
It's pretty cool to have it come out now and kind of coincide with this for us. So
absolutely,
it was a little added cherry on the sundae.
You got it. And so you mentioned before that this is kind of perhaps a blah type of arena, but in a way it makes for this show being particularly special because this was in the middle of an outdoor summer tour, and it was the one indoor show, correct?
Yeah. Well, there may have been more.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do that level of research.
Okay.
But
let's just say it was one among a few.
Yeah, I think we could talk at length about indoor versus outdoor and the different style.
Yeah.
I find indoor sometimes to have a little bit more tight, compact energy, a little darker at times, and outdoor to be a little more expansive and open and free and breezy.
Right.
Not to say that either could have aspects of the other, but I've always preferred indoor shows. I love the lights being off for both sets. That said, I've had some magical times at the Gorge and at Red Rocks and, even Great Woods, like some really special outdoor venues. So
sure.
Desert they're both great. Yeah. But an indoor show, especially if you were on this run in 94 is kind of an outlier. And I think it might have brought some of the energy.
Yeah. Well, the last episode was the night before just speaks to how great this time period was. And there is a pretty sizable difference in the shows. I'm not necessarily like 618 is so much better, but they are just very different, and there's a different energy, and the band is going for a different thing, and they're clearly in a very different mood. You know, there's lots of different people that live inside of us. You know, I feel like all of us have a bunch of different people that live in us, and especially as artists, you know, so the different ones come out depending on the night. And I think that's kind of what makes it fun for Phish, is they kind of just let that go. And this is one of those nights where, I don't know if it's their personality or if they're just wellspringing the universe, but something's happening that's showing us some music that we've never quite experienced before.
Yeah, this run in general at the end of June, you know, it's the 17th, the 18th, and then the next episode's the 22nd, the one after is the 26th, and honestly, all four of those are vastly different performances.
Yeah, right.
And, you know, it's obviously the same band, but the mood, the feeling, even some of the same songs are performed very different throughout the four. Mm-hmm. So I'm really, you know, this one stands out in its own special way, and I'm excited to talk about it. Okay. I think dream set list in every way, and Wilson opener is perfect example. Mm-hmm. Strong, big, loud. You know, it's a little echoey. You can kind of feel a lot of show openers kind of have that. The sound's got to get dialed in with the audience, but big opener,
right?
And I think sets the pace for energy for this show. And we've talked about some shows where the energy gets a little out of hand. I think they do the perfect job of flexing when they need to flex and then reining in when they need to at this show.
Right. So. Yeah, and I feel like Wilson is particularly effective indoors as well.
Yeah.
Because you do get that echo, and you kind of feel like one with everyone, and that, you know, obviously the band felt that way too, because that's how they decided to open their live album. Wilson from later this year. And so the Wilson goes into Rift. Have we discussed Rift on this show yet? I don't even know if we've talked about a Rift.
I think there were some earlier ones I loved to death. Like 92, 93 was kind of my Rift, you know, my favorites. Uh-huh. I thought this one was good. I had a couple of off mic notes. But I think the pacing is really nice.
Okay.
I think what fails with Rift at this point is if they try and push too fast.
Right.
So I thought it was nice. Too much energy going into it. You know, you can kind of blow it out of the water with speed.
Right.
I thought this one was just right.
I think the band was pacing themselves. I think they knew they were just about to be the horse coming out of the gate here in a few minutes. And they were kind of warming up. I feel like at this point in the show, you know, a lot of shows kind of start off and you're like, oh, is this going to be a special show? You can kind of feel it. I don't know that I could feel it yet in the show.
No, Wilson Rift is just getting the dust off.
Like standard. But I feel like the band knew. But they haven't told us yet. So.
But then the AC/DC bag is really where it happens for me. That's where it starts. That's you get the tinges.
Right.
And just huge, you know, at solidly played, nothing crazy, but then huge energy at the end.
Yes.
Just a massive close. Really, really well played. And it makes me think about some other first set AC/DC bags, you know, 93, 94 can get out there. This one doesn't, but it's perfectly tight, perfectly played, but the energy just, you know, it's 211 in almost every song at this show in one way or another.
Right.
And I think this one really starts to show its teeth, and I really like the smooth transition into Maze after this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really well done.
I love this AC/DC bag. I am aware that, like, if you just go and listen to it, it's a pretty standard AC/DC bag for this time, or just in general. But depending on, you know, we talk about this a lot, when you hear something kind of affects how you hear it in the future. And this was one of my earlier tapes. And this is, aside from maybe 323 or 322.93, the Sacramento show that we talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. This was like one of my first live AC/DC bags, and I felt like this one even like pushed harder, and it really kind of ingrained in my head that this was what AC/DC bag live was supposed to sound like. So to me, this is kind of like my standard great AC/DC bag. Doesn't go anywhere crazy, but it's exactly what it should be. Has a little extra mustard in the build up, and just has such a fun energy. Just gets me moving and excited for what's going to come next. Yeah, and the transition into Maze was fantastic, and it's just like this build and then the just smooth transition into Maze, and here we go.
Yeah,
I'm sure we're both on the same page here that this Maze is pretty special.
yeah. I don't. I think I remember you saying that the first time you heard these tapes was with our friend Ryan.
Correct.
And I think that I'm the one that gave them to Ryan.
Correct.
So he and I had listened to them before, and I can't remember the first time he and I listened to them. But these really, I think, as far as the shows we've listened to thus far, this is the first show I think that had a lot of influence in my San Diego friend group.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ryan and I had a special connection with this, riding in the red Jetta, just many times listening to it. I remember one time with me and him and our friend Joe driving to Central California for a reason I won't get into, listening to this show. And I know you and he had the first listen.
Yeah.
But I also remember times with all of us listening to it, especially probably the last house we lived in, some of those laying on the floor and the living room. This was definitely in rotation at some point. And, the first set had its ups and downs that we'd listened to, but probably more of the second set. And so I think there were aspects of it that I'd forgotten. And I think this Maze is one of them. I'd forgotten how good this was.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten... it's the longest song of the first set, which,
right.
I mean, Maze always kind of breaks that 10-minute mark. But Page's solo breaking down to just nothing at the top. The band really kind of connecting and listening. The ears open up properly. And then, it's just massive, stunning energy through the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just to tie it back to what you were kind of saying. Yeah, my first experience with this show is with our buddy Ryan, and it was one night, kind of like late at night, we were hanging out, and I was kind of new to living with Sam and Ryan, and Sam had a pretty sizable Phish tape collection. And, when you are first starting, you have no idea where to start. So I asked Ryan, I'm like, why don't you choose something that'll just, that's great, like will blow your mind. And we, went to the back room, turned off the lights, cranked it up super loud, listened to it with our eyes closed. And it changed me. And it was the Bowie that he played me in the second set. So I heard the Bowie, and then we listened to the You Enjoy Myself, I believe. And then I kind of came to the rest of it, over the next few weeks. But yeah, it was really one of those, if I was making a list of moments where my whole musical trajectory, and put into the big perspective, my whole life trajectory was kind of probably altered a little bit. I was already into Phish, but that was like one of those jams. And like I've mentioned before, I have a son named Bowie. That's in no small part due to this performance on 12/29/94 as well. And in fact, when he was born, we made a mixed disc for the whole family of Bowie, David Bowie songs. It was 3 discs, and it was like, why? Like, because they were like, why are you naming your child Bowie? So they didn't know anything about David Bowie. So we gave him this mix, but I had enough room for filler on the 3rd disc, and I put the 6/18 94 David Bowie. So hopefully it made its way into some unsuspecting ears, and who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, I think this whole show is a good... if you want to get into this band, just really sit down and listen to this.
Yeah.
And I think Phish... when you watch the Phish movie, and it's the more you put in, the more you get out as far as practicing and working hard, and then you're playing better. I think it's the same listening. The more you listen, the more you get out. Mm-hmm. And really taking your time with shows this well played, and it never ceases to be great. And I've heard this so many times, but listening back this time, I heard things I didn't remember. I heard things I might not have ever heard before.
Yeah.
And this Maze was a stunner for me. The end with the energy, I had these visions, and you being someone who's a painter, painting with sound rather than playing notes was almost where it got to, where it's these just washes of, I picture big, thick paint brushes and pushing paint around, that kind of feeling to the sound.
Oh, yeah.
Beyond fingers, beyond, strings, beyond instruments, it just becomes just, pulsating energy. And it was, I think the band still does that in a different way. But the youthfulness of this was really, it was really something.
Yeah, it's like the musical equivalent of abstract expressionism.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Maze is incredible. And what is it about? So, we've talked about a bunch of shows now, and they're all great, but some of them you listen to regardless of whether there's a lot of jams or not, I feel like. And some of them you listen to and you're like, yeah, I don't need to listen to that again. And then other ones you finish and you're immediately like, I have to go back and listen to that again. It's because of some sort of weird hook or something that kind of made it in, but you can't quite remember it, right? Like some shows have that quality in spades that you just really want to listen to over and over again. I've always kind of wondered, haven't been able to articulate exactly why that is, but maybe we'll figure it out over the course of this podcast.
Yeah, it's just music in general. Like whenever I hear a song I love, there's times I'll listen to it 10 times a day.
Yeah.
And then eventually I'll go, whew, okay, I gotta
But there are some songs that may be just as powerful, but you don't need to listen to as often, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. I remember after listening to the 11/28/94 tweezer when we first got it, we listened, the three of us listened to it, me, you, and Ryan. And then the next day I was listening to it again, and you guys were both like, why are you listening to that again? We just listened to that. Because I think for you guys, maybe it was like so powerful. You're like, well, I did it. I don't need to do that mountain again. And there was maybe there was a part of me that was like, I didn't understand what just happened. I need to check that out again. I don't know.
Yeah.
Regardless, I have a very large collection of Phish, and there are some shows that just get worn out, and I don't know, it's because I think that they're better than other shows. I don't think that this Bowie is better than 12/29/94, but I do want to listen to it more.
Yeah, sometimes it's just something about an experience of when you heard it. Sometimes it's the quality of the recording, sometimes it's the company, but I think oftentimes it's just the band. It's a conversation you want to listen to again. Everyone's connecting properly, even more than song choices or song placements or any of that noise. I think it's just the band properly talking.
Right.
And really connecting with each other. And the show's got it in spades. Every song has a moment. Every single one.
Yeah.
I'd say from AC/DC Bag On. We can skip the Wilson Rift, but every song has a moment. Which brings us to what I always thought was my favorite little trio of this set, which is the Mango Disease Ice. But this Mango song is the Mango song for me.
Perfection.
It's the one.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's perfectly played. Something about, the soundboard qualities of this out there. I wasn't really close to this song, and I think this was the one show that really sold me on it.
Mm-hmm.
And made me always look for it and listen to it down the road. And, I really got the middle section and the end section from this, where the middle section, there's these little band interplays in this where they're finishing each other's phrases that tickles me every time. And then the ending, just the piano over the just hammering guitar chords.
Yeah.
Really gorgeous, euphoric, perfect ending, and really made me fall in love with this song when I first heard it.
And then especially the way it kind of separates out at the end, and just the space kind of creates, and it ends with Paige just kind of like clanking on that piano key, and it's just kind of like ringing throughout the arena. Just has that beautiful ending that I love so much.
Yeah. Yeah, this one is top notch. I think if people are listening to Phish and they're like, this is a song especially modern Phish, I don't think they play this very much.
Sure.
This is one you can't miss.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not one to say best version, and I'm not saying best version, but just like with AC/DC Bag, I think like standard sort of like perfection version.
Yeah. I agree.
And into the old Down with Disease. 94 Down with Disease. Love them.
Yeah, this is, and I think I've told you this before, but this is my hands down favorite type 1 Down with Disease that is out there.
Right.
I think it's perfect. Just perfect. And I mean, the Trey's guitar little lead line, his lick at the beginning of the solo. I think I remember Fishman once in an interview.
I can hear it in my head right now.
Yeah, I think he said he thought Trey's Simple line was like one of his best.
Yeah, that's in the book.
Composed pieces. I think this is one of his best composed pieces ever, and I think that's why they play it in New Year's '93.
Yeah.
I think the song kind of pivots on it, and it is nailed here. And then the solo is tight and compact and goes to 11 so beautifully and comes back around to the na 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 na. All right, that's all the singing I'm going to do.
Well, I think
great vocal tie at the end.
As you say that, I'm kind of like, and I'm really thinking about what we were talking about before. It's like why I want to come back to this. What this Down with Disease has is this beautiful sort of like lilting melody. It's like springtime. It's pulling you along. It's like this rockin' song, like chugging a lugging with energy, but at the same time, he's bringing this really kind of like beautiful melodic wave that's like rolling through this jam that I love. It makes me feel youthful and childlike, and it makes me feel like playing, and it's great. It taps into a certain type of emotion, just like the Mango song did.
Yeah.
Love the Down with Disease. I would definitely not agree with Sam that this is the best type 1 Down with Disease, but I do love it. And I'm sure we're going to get into my favorite later in the year 94.
Sure. This one just climbs Peak Mountain just right.
Yeah.
It's Peak Mountain.
Yeah,
just for me, it's like short and sweet, and it's like if I need a quick 7 minute hit of Phish, like this is a great go-to for me.
Right, like if they would have done like excerpts from the show, or maybe not even, but you know what I mean, if they would have used like primarily this show for a live one, what would their trajectory have been? Because I feel like so much of a live one is not meant for mass consumption, but this is in a lot of ways, because we're saying all these versions are like perfect versions. They are kind of like mass consumption versions of Phish. So I kind of wonder, would they have gotten like much more famous? I'm sure not.
Yeah, I wonder what the band. I wonder how the process is, because they released this as a box set.
Yeah,
and the companion show 1125 is good. There's good parts to it, but it's not like this one.
Right.
And I wonder who pushes that out. I wonder how much the band really listens and re-listens and puts into the work, or if they kind of just move past it and say, sure, whatever the archivists, if Kevin Shapiro's working on it or whoever's putting it out, and they're saying we're going to release this. Sure, go ahead, have a great time. Whatever it is, whatever it is.
I think it's probably a combination of both. If I had to guess, it does seem like Paige and Mike are pretty engaged. I can't imagine Trey saying or Fishman suggesting to release a show. That doesn't seem like a scenario I can imagine in my head. But you never know. Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe Trey.
I don't know.
But whatever. Like always, Kevin, just give them all to us.
This whole show has some funny recorded lore, I guess, now so there's you can go find the interview with Danny Bonaducci from prior to this show. That's really strange and funny to listen to. That man is pretty full of himself.
And that was Phish, Down with Disease, and Phish is here in the studio. Hi, guys.
Hey, how you doing, Danny?
How you doing? All right, let's go from left to right.
John Fishman, Paige McConnell, Mike Gordon, Trey Anastasia.
John, Page, Mike, Trey.
Trey is it.
All right, the reason I did that is because you just asked me off the air if that Mega Memory thing was worthwhile.
The last names.
Actually, I have no clue. Wasn't listening, and I don't know a Mega Memory trick for that.
He just ordered it, as a matter of fact. I bought it.
Are you serious?
I did.
It's
funny because I did it like 3 days ago, and then we found out we were talking to you, and I was like, oh, good. I can.
That's so funny because on the way here, I was passed by a police truck, and I wanted to talk about it, and I did my little Mega Memory trick to remember it was truck 6174.
Wow.
See? So there. Who do you look like?
Barry Manilow.
That's it. Thank you. Because I didn't want to say it, but I just, And who do you think you look like, Trey?
I look like Danny Partridge, Danny.
You do not. You look like Billy Mummy from Lost
My life
in
was
Space.
a living hell because of you when I was in high school.
Go ahead and tell them what happened when you walked in the door, before you even said hi to me.
I was ready to tell you all about it, and the first thing you said was, you don't look like me. And everyone with red hair, every person that comes in with red hair says that.
It's like every ugly Asian chick looks like a Yoko. I don't think that's fair at all. So you guys are in town. You are at the, is it the UIC Pavilion?
UIC Pavilion.
And actually, we've got, 4 pairs of tickets to give away?
Yep.
That's excellent, man. I don't know how to do it yet, but we'll figure it out. All right, I know exactly.
So you're going to come down and sit in on bass with us tonight, Danny?
You've already got one guy that looks like Danny Partridge. The last thing you need is a guy that's really him to screw up your band.
And then later we can get into the Down with Disease, where Trey's discussed that in an interview.
Or Divided Sky.
Oh, I'm sorry, Divided Sky.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of kind of lore and talk and discussion about the show. So I wonder if the band really wanted to push it out there because they loved it. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I sure should hope they loved it. And then moving on to the It's Ice, which is our song of the night. Woo!
Yeah, it's the song of the night. It's the first headphones too from the show. There's a few headphones at the show, and this is one of them. And an absolutely unique, strange, cool funk. It's Ice.
Yes.
Proto funk. Can I say proto cow?
Yes. Proto cow funk. Yes.
Veal.
Mm-hmm.
The veal version.
To me, just the way this the veal version. I don't know if it's that refined. I'm not sure. Yeah, just like the way this jam starts off, it just means business. And Page does this sort of like I don't know, as I always struggle to describe this, but kind of like skidding piano, where he's like, and he kind of like pulls you along. It just kind of like drags me so beautifully into this little funk jam. This is another song, just like the Bowie, that I have incredibly perfect, vivid memories of the first time I heard it. I was working on my art homework. I was in art school, and that's right, art homework. It was a rather intense semester, but yeah, I was like painting, and I put on this first set, and I was really digging it, loving everything so far, and just thinking, wow, it's a great set. And then this Ice came on, and as soon as the jam started, it just kind of stopped me in my tracks. I've always been a bit of a funk guy, and this is, Phish was playing funk at this time that I was listening to this in 97, but it was still kind of new. And people were just kind of freaking out that they were playing funk in 97. So in a way, I kind of heard this and was like, hey, do people know they were playing funk in 94?
It was just rare at that point.
Yeah, but so playful and so fun, and it just goes places. So a fantastic Ice, and the Ice that kind of made me want to go find other Ices.
Yeah.
A gateway Ice, if you will.
Yeah, and like you said, Song of the Night, we're now picking one song from each show to kind of highlight different versions that probably won't find their way onto this top 100 show list, but nonetheless are versions of songs that we would love to discuss. If you would ask me off the top of my head to just list my couple favorite It's Ices, this would definitely be on the list. Mm-hmm. I know both of us have found 3 other ones that we'll discuss, but this one would definitely be on my short list just from my quick memory.
Yes.
It really holds a special place in my heart. And I love it. I love it, and I love it for its difference. And going back and listening to a lot of different It's Ices, there's other ones that are kind of funky and fun. Mm-hmm. But this one really has its own unique, very, baby grand piano led funk groove. That's awesome.
Totally.
Wah pedal and the whole works.
And again, just like the other songs in the set, it has perfection working for it, which is something that, because there's a lot of, like Sam said, we both listen to a lot of It's Ices, and there are a lot of incredible It's Ice jams, but some of them are incredible for most of it. Some of them are incredible for part of it. I can't think of a ton that are like straight up from the first second of it to the last second of it, or like, hot damn, that was great.
Composition played well, jam
Yeah.
section played well, the in into the jam, the out of the jam, everything clean.
Yeah.
You know, getting out of the jam sometimes is, fine. It can be difficult. And
Right.
this one's perfect. Really great.
Yeah.
So let's discuss our threes.
Okay.
Why don't you go first?
Okay, I will go first. I'm gonna go with 11:30:96. The Arco Arena. We've talked about this show aplenty on this podcast, and it's really an incredible version. I've been kind of, knowing Sam and what he's going to choose, oftentimes try and choose different stuff from him if I can, if I know he's going to choose something, and I know he's going to choose this. Sorry to give away your pick, Sam.
Just shortens all the It's Ices we're going to talk about, but yeah, this is 100% on the list.
And I was like, okay, I'm not going to choose that because I know Sam's going to do it. And then I listened to it and I thought it would be totally disrespectful to not choose it. It really is just an incredible version it has amazing purpose to it. There's just something about it. It like starts off and it's huge. It just more so. I mean, the recording, obviously we're listening to a soundboard, but I listened to a lot of soundboard It's Ices, and this one just the sound of it was like it's taking over the whole arena. It sounded like that this was the one song that they wanted to make count that night, and I know that's not true, but it really just has that sound to it. Trey's doing this beautifully restrained kind of wah-wah in the composed section that's really unique and gives it such a cool, unique groove. And then the jam is just out of hand, as Sam likes to describe. I'm going to let Sam describe the jam.
Well, I think we've talked about this before too, but It's Ice can take a lot of different directions. But I think often it at the entrance to the jam, what it's doing is you're falling under the ice, and you're slowly sinking beneath the water. I think the one from 618 that we're discussing is nothing like this. I think that's upbeat funk. It's fun. It's different. And that's what's so cool about this song is the jams aren't usually very long. It's rare for it to stray past 10 minutes. But this one is much more traditional at the top of the jam. I think it falls underwater. It's dark. It's deep. The lights are blue. It feels when you're at the arena like you're immersed under the water and surrounded by it and the weight and the pressure. And I think this does it beautifully. Somewhere around that like 6.5-ish. There's a really pretty Trey Page melody that digs you out of the water, and you
Right.
slowly start to work towards the surface. And as it ascends the surface, the song comes to a close. So I think if you're looking at that perfect It's Ice, trying to tell a story that the lyrics tell, but then completing it musically, this is a really great version of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're in agreement on that one, and it is available
Absolutely.
on the most recent live Phish. Thank you, Kevin. And
Yeah, live bait is
or live bait. Sorry,
keep the live baits coming. Like there's so
Yeah.
many fun. Every single one that comes out, I get excited about it. A couple things on there, and
Well, I hope we
find things I've never heard.
have another one coming out for Mexico, but I hope it's not stuff from Mexico since we already have it. No disrespect to Mexico.
You sound like me now. I'm proud of you.
Unless it's all unheard rehearsal versions of Mexican Cousin. I could be interested in that. Okay, so our which is a hot take. Hot
Yeah,
take.
that's an interesting choice. I like it.
All right, so let's go. I know we have let's go for our second one. I'm gonna go with 494. The Flynn Theater in Vermont. Another playful version, like 618.
Yeah, I like that one.
But really fun. It's got this little like Hey Bulldog like jam. By the Beatles, and I loved that song. And I remember hearing this early on, thinking like they're playing Hey Bulldog. What band does that? That's amazing. And so whenever I listen back to this, it just gives me nostalgia goosebumps. And I still think beyond that, it's still technically a fantastic version. So I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I like that one a lot too. And my next choice is Four Nights After. For 894 at Penn State University. It's one of the longest It's Ices. It's 14 and a half minutes. It's long. But the jam is just so experimental and different for It's Ice. And I really, for a song like this, when it gets, it's not wasted jamming either. It's not pointless kind of a noodly trying to make something happen. You can tell the band was very inspired. Mm-hmm. And right at the top, there's audience claps. Crowd's really into it, and then it drops into a digital delay loop jam that we'll talk a lot about Mind Left Body later.
Yeah.
But this one, instantly I was at New Year's 95.
Right.
Because it's that same melodic burp, 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 which I love.
Yeah. I adore all digital delay loop jams. This one had like a weird kind of like it's icy feel
to it. It was unique to the show, but also like bridges those gaps.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of gets there and starts building back up, and it's off kilter and strange. There's a blues jam, there's an antelope-ish jam. It really gets out there. And I thought all the musical ideas that were thrown out were well fleshed out and well executed. And for a very long It's Ice, I thought there was no down moments. I thought it was great. I really liked it.
Yeah, that was my runner-up. And for our final, you'd have to be a crazy son of a bitch not to choose this one. But before we get there...
I hope to be that son of a bitch.
I just want to give a shout out to some later It's Ices. I mean, I feel like because of the structure of the song and what it's actually going for, later versions are never going to be quite as strong, even if they have great improvisations. But there's a couple of there's a 93 version that I highly recommend checking out. It has a cool jam to it. And of course the Baker's Dozen It's Ice is worth a listen as well. I do feel like this is another conversation in that, it's really the jam. It's the Type 2 jam that it's in the middle of It's Ice that makes it special. And it is a great jam, but is it It's Ice? I just don't know. I get a little frustrated with these fans that they'll play a song, and because it's, a 6-minute song and it's 18 minutes, it's it's the best version ever. Well, why is it the best version ever? Because like when I think of a song like It's Ice, I want to look at the composed section. I want to look at the mood. I want to see that it's, I don't know. I'm rambling now. Anyway.
No, I'm in total agreement. All the composed sections of the ones we're discussing are spot on.
Yeah.
And I think you don't get the payoff without the structure.
Right.
For me. And I think, we could go on a long rant here about 2 and 3.0. But I think without the structure, the payoff isn't the same.
Right. Yeah. So to structure, here's our final.
Your final. I got one more.
I know, but Spokane, Washington, 10/7/95.
Oh, our final. Okay.
Did you want to go against the grain on that one?
Nope.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is a stunning version. I guess it would always be hard to choose that one version, but when I listened to this, as soon as the jam started, I believe I was 10 seconds in, and I actually said to my wife, who was across the room, I said, "This sounds exactly like taking LSD in a swimming pool." And I think like if a piece of music can just do that to you straight out the bat, like it wasn't something I creatively thought up. It was like just straight out, like I heard it and then my brain was like, that's what this is. Like I had some sort of sense memory and they were tapped into it. But yes, this is the ultimate sort of like underwater, It's Ice underwater trip jam. And I just think it's phenomenal. And it's
great.
It has a great arc and it just has a tremendous build and finish to it. And bravo.
Yeah, I think it pushes the structure of the song and trying to play music that matches a, a lyrical concept rather than a musical theme really gives the band unique improvisational avenues to go down. And this one was really showcased that.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. Very underwater. Partway through the jam, there's this rhythmic jam. Like almost every one of these, part of what I wrote was just really unique playing, unique music, unique not just to the band, but just to music in general.
Right.
Really strange choices and trying, I think It's Ice as a vehicle for improvisation doesn't always get exploited, but at the times the band really feels it. It is some very different music.
Yeah.
And all the versions we just discussed, I think they're all that. And yeah, I'm really glad to kind of break this song open and have more discussions.
Yeah. It's kind of funny, but like Phish at this period, especially, and it was earlier in their career, but they were really breaking new ground for themselves, and like for you said, for the history of music. And I think that, like, I always kind of say when people, why do you like to go see Phish, and why do you? I'm like, because I like to be in the presence of the birth of music, and that's really how I look at it. I like being there. And is it always the greatest? No, but I just like, there's something exciting about being there in that moment. And, when I'm seeing them in 3.0, yeah, they're like coming up with cool jams and stuff they've not played before and new sounds and stuff. But because I've been listening to them for so many decades, even, that it is a bit derivative. But when I listen to this stuff, it's just so not derivative in any way. And I'm just like comparing it to all the Phish that I've heard before it, which is a lot. And it's still like, wow.
It's like fist pumping rock, and the next minute you have like dark Magus Miles Davis. You're like, what the fuck is, like, they really, I mean, this was the Surrender to the Air period too. Like, I think they were attempting to play things akin to free jazz.
Yeah.
But with totally new soundscapes. They like removing the word jazz and just playing sound.
Well,
but
there's
not
such
in a,
vis-
it's hard to describe.
they're so visual. They're such a visual band.
Yes.
I can't think of a ton of bands that create such a world, such a fucking, Tolkien, C.S. Lewis, like just these Star Wars, and just, I don't mean these things specifically, but I think the band itself, just like its fans, were a huge fan of movies and pop culture and TV shows and the sort of world building, Dungeons and Dragons. And I think they took all of that stuff, comedy, and put it into the music. Just like, we're not just writing songs. We're going to write this music that reflects our entire sort of taste system.
Sure.
In a way. And there's so many sections of songs that isn't about like being a song, or it's not about a riff, and it's not about being virtuosic, or it's about creating a world to go to in your brain. And that's very lofty, but they're fucking
Yeah, and
great
it's
at
about
it.
filtering. You're not, I'm a guitarist, I'm a drummer, I'm a bass player, keyboard player. At its absolute best, you're a personal filter for all sound in the universe.
Right.
So as it goes through you, getting out of the way is part of the key.
Right.
And by getting out of the way, you have to remove your ego, you have to remove so many aspects of your physical self, so you can become more opaque and more transparent and let the universe filter through you. And I've been a great Grateful Dead fan for years and up and down, but there aren't a lot of bands. I mean, mentioning some of the Miles Davis 60s period and early 70s was probably more akin to this than a lot of the Grateful Dead.
Right.
But you're literally removing as much of you as you can.
Right.
And filtering the world of sound through you. So it still is you out there, but you're trying to do that. And I think this jam allows the band to really strip away time signature and rhythm and melody in a lot of ways, and just be free to, we're going to sound like rocks rolling on the bottom of a stream. We're going to sound like wind through the branches. We're going to, they really strip a lot away.
Yeah.
And not a lot of bands have the guts and the fan base, honestly. Let's give ourselves a pat on the back to enjoy and perceive this and really pay for it.
Right.
Happily.
Those are our favorite parts, right?
Yeah. So and then 10 minutes later to be character zeroing, fist pumping and white cap jumping. So it's something else.
All right. Wow. So what are we on to?
It's Ice.
There? Okay. So we did it.
We're on to Dogface Boy.
Oh yeah, Dogface Boy. Pretty like it.
I totally forget about this song. And I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
I really like it. I love the melody. I love the good intentions line. I love country music, so it's got a country vibe to it.
Yeah. And it's pretty.
I love
it's
the
a
harmonies.
Breather.
Yeah. Yeah. It was great.
I always attach the show even more so than to Hoist, to 11/14/95. For some reason, I feel like the way that fits in that stash sandwich, it's like at a moment where you're kind of vulnerable. I haven't listened to that in so long, but for some reason, that Dogface Boy kind of strikes me as that's the one. Oh, we'll see when we get there, because there's no way that's not on our list. Okay. So Dogface Boy, and then here we go, Divided Sky. Famous Divided Sky, thanks to Trey on Charlie Rose.
Yeah, 2004 on Charlie Rose. Trey does, can I just say insert here? And we'll just insert him talking about it, because it's much more eloquent than...
I can't, it was just, so that, and I got to point to one other night. We were at the UIC Pavilion in Chicago, and we were playing Divided Sky, and we got down to this quiet part where it gets silent. We're getting quieter and quieter, and then it became silence, and I had my eyes closed, and I could feel the crowd, and I started to, because improvising is, you're trying to translate what's out there already, the greater pattern of things, and sometimes it feels like it's coming through a hole, and you couldn't play a wrong note if you tried. You're just floating. And at that moment, we were in the middle of it, and I started to see these colors, like, I'm not kidding, floating around in the room, and I realized that I could almost, it was silent, but I could see what we were translating. And as soon as I could see them, I started improvising, but I didn't play anything. I did everything in the course of improvisation except the actual notes, and as soon as I did it, the whole place erupted. It was like, and it just, tears started rolling down my face. And it was at that moment that I knew that it was truly bigger than me. You know what I mean? And that was, but there was probably a lot of moments like that, but those two just come to mind. It was amazing.
Amazing
incredible.
Journey.
Oh, so great.
And there he was discussing it. But for me, as a listener, just to this Divided Sky, it was good.
Yeah.
Not my favorite in the whole world, but in referencing a member of the band having that moving an experience during it, I think it took on a little more weight.
Absolutely.
But I like other Divided Skies more.
Yeah.
And some of that's personal. You know, like I think the first set of New Year's '96, which is an underrated New Year's show.
I was just
that first set was
I was
precision, and that Divided Sky was unfucking believable.
Right.
And that one has a special place in my heart. You know,
that one, I love it because you played that for me and just like listen to the energy. But we were listening to those crappy tapes, you know, with all the hiss, and that hiss sometimes makes that energy sound just unreal. So I'm with you on that. It's an amazing version, but I might have to hear a soundboard to get a total confirmation on that.
well, the tapes aren't that bad, and it's that technically they're FM soundboards because it was another BCN release. And I mean, that show just gets, it was hard because that first set, top to bottom, was perfection.
Right.
And then set, 2 and 3 had their moments, and the Bohemian Rhapsody was really something special with the entire choir, and there were some great moments, but that first set a stage for what could have been, New Year's 95 quality, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And having seen New Year's 95 and then being at New Year's 96, and I thought 12/30/96 was also an incredibly special night. And I'm a New England guy, and being in Boston, that's kind of my home, and I feel great here. And it was just one of those moments. And, I am sad that the show didn't live up to that first set. So seek out the first set. That Divided Sky was perfection.
Yeah, but if all you got out of it was a highly memorable Divided Sky and a Bohemian Rhapsody, that's not bad. Pretty good.
Oh, I went home real happy that night.
Yeah.
I had a great night. New Year's is fun, but
listeners, look forward to my take on the Divided Sky from New Year's '96 next episode.
Good.
I will be listening to it intently. And
please,
coming back with a very serious
I'll do the same.
review. I remember speaking of Divided Skies, it's obviously been a very popular song in 3.0, but I remember like back in early 3.0, one of my buddies seeing a Divided Sky in Camden and just kind of being like, dude, this Divided Sky was incredible. Like the energy was ridiculous. And I thought to myself, there's no way. And I listened to it. I think it was 2010. And like the composed section is not what it once was, of course, but it did have a massive fucking jam on it. And I remember thinking like, wow, this is kind of cool what they can do it in 3.0. So so at some point I'm going to have to do a deep dive on later Divided Skies and find some good jams because it is cool when they kind of get out there with it. And this is very much like a classic perfect version, which they basically play until 2000. When do they start fucking around with Divided Sky? 2003?
I don't know.
99?
Out of my listening.
I feel like 99 is when things kind of like that started opening up a bit, but I'll have to look at it.
Yeah, there were times here, in the 90s when it would veer a little bit outside of the realm, but for the most part it stayed there, and that was fine.
Oh yeah. No, I mean it's the perfectly composed song. I've always said I think that Junta version is one of the prettiest composed songs on any album. I just adore it.
And then like the perfect set opener, perfect set closer.
Yep.
Sample in a jar.
Absolutely.
Super solid, big energy.
Huge. Yeah, love it.
Love this song.
Yeah.
And shredding closing. And really, like, no part of this show ever lets up. And, you know, perfect closer. Love it.
Well, when you say let up, I think, yeah, I mean, okay, well, we'll get into it in the second set. There are breathers,
Sure,
but
sure.
I don't consider breathers to be let up. I feel like in a way it's kind of like perfect. Like they've just
Dogface Boy was a breather.
Yeah.
But I don't think they let up.
No.
I think it was nailed.
And the flow, they never fucked the flow. Like they always just went perfectly in flow. So
Agreed.
Fantastic first set.
Yeah.
Now we're moving on to the second set. Are we going to put in a commercial here? Who are we getting advertising from these days?
I don't know.
Okay.
Products and services. Lots of products, some services. I don't know. I'm thinking I would like something for free so I could give it as a gift to someone. So I'm going to put in right now so I can give that to someone. And then anytime I mention, I would like that given to someone as a special.
There's this restaurant I love called Festina Lente. Do you think that we could talk to the owner and do some commercials for it on our
I'll see what I can do.
podcast?
I'll see what I can do. Right now, it's kind of enough. You know, it's enough customers.
You're like that. We don't want. You're like Phish. You don't want to advertise. You're like
I just want them all to spend more money and stay there longer and have there be less. Yeah. We could start a subsidiary restaurant industry podcast that's, you know, the sister podcast to this, where I just complain the entire time and also talk about how much I love it.
I've got so much to say, but I don't even want to get into it. But could be very controversial. I think I could get myself into a lot of trouble.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, set 2, Peaches in Regalia, little Frank Zappa. Speaking of New Year's '96, right?
Yep.
Good version. We listened to a version recently. Can't remember when it was that I think I liked a little bit better, but it was good.
Yeah, it's a great, tight, complex instrumental. A really nice way for, I think, the band to, you know, dust off a set break, get together. It always puts a smile on my face.
Yeah.
And I love when they show off their compositional chops.
And and then so nice little warm up into the David Bowie. David Bowie starts off with what the fans like to call a Mind Left Body Jam, which is a ode to an old little jam that the Grateful Dead used to do in tender moments of beautiful psychedelic space. It seems.
Well, I have a lot to say about the Mind Left Body Jam. Technically,
okay. Let's take it back a second. Forget what I said. Take it from
agree.
here, Sam.
But I think earlier when we discussed the digital delay loop jam, I think we were discussing you know, a melodic theme that's always the same.
Right.
I think the Mind Left Body Jam kind of is just a 4-note descending line.
Right.
And the original Grateful Dead one stems from it was kind of between. So technically, Paul Kantner and Grace Slick put out an album called Baron von Tolbooth and the Chrome Nun, which honestly is a pretty sick name for an album. Baron von Tolbooth and the Chrome Nun. There was such a cool time in history in this world that you and I were not around for, and we missed out on some stuff, and now we're doing this by Zoom. Anyway. And there's a song on there called My Mind Has Left My Body, and it's kind of akin to what the Grateful Dead did, and then it became this thing that people put on set lists called Mind Left Body Jam.
Right.
And even Phil Lesh has said there's no such thing. The Grateful Dead never played anything like that song.
Right.
And so far as on one of the official Grateful Dead live releases, he called a thing the Mud Love Buddy Jam as a joke.
Right.
And he swears that this is not a thing. The band never did it on purpose. It's just them improvising a theme.
Right.
And we've listened to this, you and I, in many ways, and it was always labeled that on set lists. I don't know how to feel about it now. And officially, Phish just released it as David Bowie. It doesn't say anything on their official release. I
Right.
believe it just says David Bowie.
Yeah, and it's
And
its own thing anyway. I mean, if you played this whatever Mind Left Body Jam next to a Grateful Dead one, you'd be like, okay, yeah, I mean, I can kind of see it, but it's
I did
totally
the search.
its own
It doesn't.
thing.
It doesn't match up. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of see the faint glimmer of it, but then when we talk digital delay loop jam, those are the same notes played in the same way
Yeah, right.
for the most part.
Well, sometimes they're in
I
different
think
keys.
they're recognizable.
Sometimes they're in different keys. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's recognizable as the burp, burp, burp,
Right.
burp, 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 and it follows the same theme, whereas this is not.
Right.
Now that long-winded, nerdy, research-laden description has nothing to do with how fucking incredible this is,
Yeah.
and how it goes from 0 to 60 in seconds, and really starts out what is kind of just a regular Bowie jam at the beginning before the song proper, and takes it somewhere that is totally unexpected.
Yeah. Yeah, there's very few versions of songs that would earn a space on the best ever lists before the song even started. That's how good that Mind Left Body Jam is. Like when it's over,
Yes.
you're like, I don't know what song this is, but it needs to be on a best ever list.
Absolutely.
And then the Bowie starts, and you're like, oh, okay, well, let's hear it goes. And then the Bowie itself on its own is just, like just we've been talking before, just gets into a unique space that if anybody ever tried to be like, oh no, this is just like this other music, I'd just be like, go fuck yourself. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I would be like, please play that for me. I'd love to hear it. But I've been searching for years and I cannot find it. Yeah. So.
And also beyond what we're calling the Mind Left Body Jam, there's some other really just fantastic themes before the Bowie proper, like in the intro. They touch a number of musical themes. And then when it actually hits the Bowie, It is as tight as can be. The structure is perfect.
Yeah.
It's not an easy song to play. I think it really shows off the rhythm. Fishman is always on display, and this is one of those moments that was just, my God.
Yeah.
And then when it hits the actual jam after the compose section, and it does the Three Blind Mice turn, and then flips major out of nowhere. Like, it is, I think it's somewhere after that when that falls apart and falls into the next jam. Every time I listen to this, I'm left just like a puddle on the floor. I'm like, how do I forget how good this is? And that's even before it gets into the back half of the Bowie, which is so dark and so menacing, and then so much the tension release perfection, and possibly one of the best ever endings to David Bowie.
Yeah.
With the massive, huge ripping solos to just pin drop silence to the Hendrix quotes. Like, there's bigger David Bowies, there's more improvisational ones, but like we've said throughout the show, it's hard pressed to find one that's really like so note perfect top to bottom, and that you could play for someone who's like, this is what Phish is about, and have them go, wow.
Yeah, my buddy Rick in Colorado, who's a little younger than us, he asked me at a certain point when he was, getting a lot of my CD collection, he's like, oh, like give me some special Phish stuff you think I probably haven't heard. And I thought, oh, he's for sure heard 618, but I'll give it to him anyway. And then we were working together at the time, and like he came into work the next day and just gave me that look. His eyes were just like huge. He's like, holy shit, man, that David Bowie, you fucking kidding me? Like, just, red in the face. Just
people
been
don't,
holding it in
realize
all night to tell me
this is all we want.
Yeah.
Is like, we're doing this podcast because we love each other and love to talk, but also if one person gets that happy about this from us, like this is like when we experience this, we love to talk about it, but we also want to share. That's what it's all about. Yeah. So God, please go listen to this show. Like, please.
Yeah, there's a part in this Bowie jam where I like imagine that I'm like in a boxing match and I'm like getting beat up by the band in like a good way, but the punches don't hurt. They like feel good. They're like hug punches. But just amazing.
Yeah, it's dissonant and tense, and the emotional roller coaster from bliss to what might even be called frustration. Mm-hmm. Displayed musically is really impressive.
Right,
it's great.
And the Hendrix teases at the end. I mean, I can understand a criticism of just being like, well, you're playing such this perfect thing, why you got to add some classic rock teases in there. But again, so classy and so fucking hard to do.
Sometimes you got to wank.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. You know,
it's
just like...
He really makes it work.
Every single one. It's
Yeah.
perfect. And the band jumps on everyone. Like it's really, really classy.
Yeah.
It's not heavy-handed at all.
Yeah. And then anything else on the Bowie?
Yeah, everyone should do this. Like, come on. Like, stop right now. I honestly am fine if you don't listen to the rest of this podcast because you only have limited time and you go listen to that and then go about your day. Like, I'd feel, like you can listen to the rest because there's more coming. But...
Okay, yeah. If you're gonna do that, though, I just want to put an asterisk on that chalk dust. Don't miss it. That's all. Okay, but keep listening to the podcast.
Please, keep listening. But stop and listen to that if you haven't heard it in a while, and then come back.
Okay. All right, horn.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I think I'll get a little bigger and say the horn McGrupp is kind of the one longer breath of this show.
Right.
I thought the horn was solid. It was fine.
Yeah.
And then McGrupp, I love a longer McGrupp solo. I love when Page really stretches out. I love when the band takes a long lilting kind of divergence there, which didn't happen in this. But it still was great. And the section with the bass solos that I always forget about in McGrupp were so great. Fishman is just one of the most impressive drummers that has ever existed. And I think that the McGrupp kind of serves as a nice, calming solve to the second set.
I
everyone a break.
It's much needed. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think it's anything to write home about per se, but again, the just listening to Fishman's like hi-hat and cymbal work,
right,
and the Page section at the end was really nice. It was short and sweet and really nice, and I think the way that it leads into the rest of the show, which is very big, this was a really nice, calming moment.
Yeah,
it was great.
I agree. And as long as we're talking about McGrupps, and I don't know if we've mentioned it, but have we talked about the 8793 Darien Lake McGrupp? If not, and you like McGrupp and you're interested in what Sam is talking about, I highly recommend going and checking that one out. It's just phenomenal, and Page is having quite a moment. He's his own whole orchestra, just all happening within Page. He's amazing.
I don't think it's on the list of 100, but I remember having heard that show so much and being so excited to go to Darien Lake in the summer 97 tour and having that be the night where the Bobos and the traveling circus was there just everything about that show was such a wild goddamn ride. And I remember everything. I remember driving all night after that show through the morning, through upstate New York, through Vermont to get to New Hampshire, and just it was a magical time. And so every time I hear the words Darien Lake, I think about my 32-hour experience around that show. And,
totally.
Yeah, it was something. But yes, that McGrupp.
and into Tweezer. Great Tweezer. I like it. Like not a huge improvisational big gun tweezer, but
I thought it was really great. It's not like a go-to tweezer for me, so I hadn't listened to it in a long time, and I liked it a lot of like melodic shifts, a lot of dissonance, cool jams. I thought that there was some screaming and some vocal accompaniments that I really enjoyed. A nice build-up, big rock and roll ending, classic tweezer breakdown. And we've discussed on the podcast before missing the old tweezer slow burp, 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 kind of descending, bricks falling apart breakdown. And it's done really, really nice here.
Yeah.
And into a gorgeous Lifeboy. So it's the tweezer Lifeboy sandwich, I think, pulled off very, very expertly.
The reason why I love this tweezer in this place is that yes, it's not a go-to tweezer. It's not one that I outwardly go and listen to all the time. But you think about what's happened in the set so far, Peaches like highly composed, and then David Bowie, this like crazy high energy, all over the place, full emotion experience.
Yeah, always moving, always
yeah,
moving.
and then we've got like the Horn McGrupp breather, but both of those songs again are highly composed, and you're like totally in it, paying attention to kind of like every note, and you're not dancing, you're swaying. And so they're coming back with this tweezer being like, okay, we're bringing it, this is the second half of the second set, and it has this sort of like rolling meditative groove that I can just imagine that if you were the show, you'd just be dancing so hard and feeling it and like so happy, and in a way kind of like grateful that there isn't a lot happening and a lot that you have to listen to, and that you're just kind of like feeling the rhythm and the energy and kind of appreciating what you've seen before in this show. And I think that it kind of speaks to how locked in they are with the flow on this night.
Yeah, I think you and I in a lot of shows have talked about, and I talk about it a lot, the fourth quarter slump, where like they'd come out Horn, McGrupp, and then it would be Big Ball Jam, Hold Your Head Up, Purple Rain, Hold Your Head Up, and then some, like a song to close the show out.
Right.
But this show has possibly the strongest fourth quarter ever.
Yeah.
Where it's this Tweezer Life Boy, and then into what, the Yum Chalk Dust is like the best Yum Chalk Dust combo ever.
Yeah.
Like it is fourth quarter madness. And I think that, the pedal's always down, but the tweezer is a way to, it lets the band really truly improvise. And I don't think they get way out there, but I think they still show off how connected they are through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then the You Enjoy Myself and Chalk Dust are really like much bigger energy, which isn't what you'd expect after the tweezer.
Right.
But yeah, I liked it a lot. I think in the context of the show, it's perfect.
Right.
But am I going to go back and listen to it all the time? Maybe not. But after listening to it this time, I'd forgotten how much I did enjoy it. So maybe.
And then into the Life Boy, which is pretty beautiful.
Yep.
Again, like the Horn. We always love a Life Boy. We probably don't have too much to say about it, but who do we think is the most religious member of the band?
That's a tough one. I'd put Fishman fourth. I'd say this doesn't mean spiritual. It means purely religious. Mike Gordon.
Mike Gordon. Okay, the most likely to be into some sort of dogma of some sort.
I don't believe him to be a practicing Jew. I know he was raised Jewish. And I don't believe him to be a practicing Jew.
Yeah.
But a lot of my father's side being Jewish, and all of them living in rural, Boston, basically outskirts of Boston, near where Sudbury, where Mike was raised. It's a thing to just even be culturally Jewish rather than religious Jewish. And I think a lot of those people, like my father, have probably been raised in a way where they've moved on beyond that, but it doesn't mean they don't have ties to their Jewish spirituality. So I'm going to say Mike Gordon.
Okay. Yeah,
I believe.
Fishman seems the most likely to say, do you believe in life after death? And he would get a real hearty laugh about that. But who knows? All right, so to the You Enjoy Myself and Chalk Dust. You're wondering, why are we even calling it You Enjoy Myself Chalk Dust? But that there's a good reason for that, and you'll figure it out when you listen to it.
Yeah, and the You Enjoy Myself is another headphones for the show. Possibly the best one we've heard so far. And I always forget about this one.
Yeah.
I love it. It's super tight. The compose section is great. And then there's the Zeppelin tease at the top of the solo. But then I forget how good this is.
Yeah.
And there's this moment right at the beginning of Trey's solo, post trampolines, where he kind of starts playing for a minute and then he hits a note. And then there's this wash of sound.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand what the effect is. I don't understand, but the whole band jumps on it.
Yeah.
And it's this wash of sound. And then he actually starts his solo again. And then it goes from that to just shredding rock, perfect bass and drums. I mean, it was just, we've talked that the 226-97 Yem is a great, this is Phish. Listen to this. I think this one also can be on that list. Of If You Enjoy Myself is the ultimate Phish song, this is really an A+ top-notch version of them really showing the song off. It's so good.
As long as we're talking about it, and we'll discuss You Enjoy Myself a lot over this podcast, but a few years ago, I really wanted to think about if I was like taking a new fan or like somebody that was like interested in getting into Phish, and I like wanted to play them something, and I thought, every person that you kind of try and pick something for is different. You don't want to necessarily choose a 20-minute jam if someone's not used to listening to big jams, right? You want to choose a shorter song. But I was thinking, if you were going to play somebody You Enjoy Myself, what would be the one that has, I guess this is how I thought of it, is there's kind of like the different sections of You Enjoy Myself. And if I'm giving each section a grade, and then I'm coming up with a cumulative grade, what You Enjoy Myself is going to rank highest in terms of like an overall impression of just, you're playing it to someone for the first time and they're just fucking floored because of, they don't know what they just experienced.
Yeah.
And number one on my list was New Year's 95.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if that's a surprise or not, but that one, all of the ones that, 618 came up, 226 came up. I listened to those. And then we talked about our favorite 3 You Enjoy Myself earlier. But New Year's 95.
Yeah. I mean, this one is still fabulous.
It is fabulous. It's so funny. This is the funniest one to me.
That was a different one.
That's serious. That's a serious Yem.
This is fourth quarter Yem. The band is pumped and excited. They know the show they just played.
Yeah.
I don't think they're trying to get too improvisational with it.
Right.
I think they're just tight and still well-oiled and playing really, really well together. And I imagine the bass and drum section Trey's dancing along. Like they're still getting each other off through this, and how it moves to the Chalk Dust, and then the Chalk Dust 2, which I still remember the first time I heard this, everyone's like, oh, the Yem is great. Listen, and I remember listening to that and going, that's great. And Chalk Dust Torture was just a closer. It doesn't really show itself off too much. But this one, I think what I did is I went back and listened to Chalk Dust again right after the first time I heard it.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. That Yem was great, but I need to hear this again.
Yeah.
It's something else.
It's like you're flying on a high-speed magic carpet. It's pretty wild. It's just so high energy, and we forgot to mention how hilarious the vocal jam is on this You Enjoy Myself.
Oh yes.
A lot of people like to skip vocal jams.
Don't skip this one.
Do not skip this vocal jam. It is laugh out loud funny.
And it's not too long. It's great.
And it just puts you in this mood again. Like when this You Enjoy Myself finishes, you just have like an ear-to-ear grin on your face after what you just heard, and then this Chalk Dust just fucking sucks you into this like vortex of high energy rock and roll joy, and then they kind of land on that Led Zeppelin How Many More Times jam again and just insert it like so perfectly, kind of like that 8993 Who Knows Band of Gypsy.
I always forget about
into the Chalk Dust, which is really great as well. They're good at inserting stuff like that into that kind of opening section of Chalk Dust. But yeah, rip and finish, could not be better.
Yeah, I just wrote just breathing fire. Like
Right.
to be this far into the show and to have played everything they just played, they have every right to like, just kind of take that victory lap calmly. But this was, whew, like they really left it all out there.
Yeah.
And then I think the encore was the absolute perfection of encores too. Like every part of this show, like if you could write a show, if you could write a set list, that Horn McGrupp section is kind of like, I get why it's there. I don't know if I'd change it with anything.
Right.
But for the most part, I mean, on short list, this show's there.
Yeah.
And I thought
what is the encore? Yeah. Okay. Got it.
I love Bouncing Around the Room. And I know people like shit on it all the time. I think it's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
And I love the ending of it. I think when it's played really well with real intention, it's gorgeous. And then Tweezer Reprise, you can't end a show better.
Right.
Like that's cranking to 11. Perfect.
Yeah.
I can't remember the date, but if you go to YouTube and you just type in Phish Tweezer Reprise, I want to say it's 97-ish, 98. But there's a Tweezer Reprise video that is just, the camera stays on Trey the whole time. And he is just stomping around stage and jumping up and down. And that's how I always feel about Tweezer Reprise. I always remember Mike walks up and turns his amp to 11. Everything is at full volume. And it is just...
They play that at
power.
like NFL games and World Series and stuff, right? Isn't
there
it
is power. And like to end the show this way, like Bouncing is the calm, the solve, and then Tweezer Reprise is the hammer.
Yeah.
Like it's really well done encore.
Well, there it is, folks. 6/18/94. I took
special
prodigious notes on this show, and I didn't have them with me during this.
Didn't need them,
but I feel like I did okay. So yeah. Let's
there's
get off the
all kinds
rails
of,
a couple times, but what are you gonna do?
There's junk around this. Like you can find the sound check out there. You can find there was filler released at some point, but none of it matters. This show is really top to bottom, world class Phish. Really at the height of their powers at this point in their career, and it's a pleasure to talk about. It was a pleasure to re-listen to. And if all shows could be this good, it would make this podcast superfluous. But that's why we're here.
Business news recommendations. I saw Goose this week for the first time.
What was that like?
They really got to ace that percussion player. As Ryan's comment was this guy somebody's older brother or something? No, he's a good percussion player, but
I've never really listened to this band, but I know there's like thousands of people that go and see them. And there's like 4 people that listen to this podcast. I still think that's a hot take. That's impressive. You get it. No, guys, you'd be a lot.
It was
fire
a lot
him. You're like the A&R guy.
I think that Ryan and I have a similar sort of thing with percussion, and just like, if you're in Santana, that's fine. But I just think a band like Goose just doesn't need it. And they kind of not that there's any, he's, I'm sure, very a wonderful player, but the 2 main guys, the sort of Peter and Rick dudes, are so amazingly talented for their age. You just kind of want to I don't want anything to get in their way. And so in terms of seeing it in the show, the bass player was good, but he was too loud. Because of course all young bands are going to be too loud. And then the percussion player just had no dynamics. It was just kind of nonstop, same rolling groove. So, if he would have disappeared for 20 minutes and then popped in at the right moment, that's cool. And guys, no more chimes. Jan band community, don't need chimes. No more chimes. Right? Am I wrong on that?
I think we should just limit the size of drum kits allowed. How many drums do you have here? But... Okay, that's your limit. You're done.
Yeah.
You only get this many drums, and then you ascend to the next level, and then you actually get to add drums after you ascend to that level. But at this lower level, these are all the drums you get, and we're going to move from here.
Right.
I think maturity, it's hard to get there.
Yeah, no,
it's a hard-fought battle.
They were very promising young band, and would I go see them again? Yes. Would I give them a couple years? Maybe, but I'm listening. I'm watching. I sent you, Sam, like a Spotify track. Oh my God, did I just promote Spotify? Ugh, bad week to bring up Spotify.
Yeah, they're getting
But
themselves in some trouble. Don't worry, this is going to be like 5 months in the future when this is actually published, because we're that's how we do things here at the Companion. We are not fast.
But
so by then, Spotify is going to be everyone's darling. Joe Rogan will be kicked off. Everything will be fine. Pandemic's over. Everyone's vaccinated. We're going to be good.
sounds good. There are a lot of things I like about Spotify, but I sent you this track "Flow Down" by Goose, and just I don't know if you listened to it, but I just thought it was like the funniest thing, because in the course of like this 7 minutes, I can hear 5 Phish songs, and I there's a part of me that loves how unabashed they are about their love and influence by Phish, and I think so many bands have. I mean, I really think there are thousands of bands and like some really big bands that we listen to that are influenced by Phish, and they just don't say so because they know it's not cool or they're going to get flack for it. But Goose is like, fuck it, we're just Phish babies, and yeah. So keep it up, Goose. That's my review.
Well, here's my question. That it's a rhetorical question, but Phish fought hard to not be the baby Grateful Dead.
Right.
And I don't think their music stems from the same place. I don't think it's that similar at all.
Yeah.
And I think because they fought so hard for their whole career, Trey later in life was able to join the Grateful Dead and actually play the Jerry Garcia role.
Right.
To much love and applause by the world at large. I've been in bands that improvise. I've been in bands that play shows that improvise. I've fought very hard in my very short-lived, as far as, compared to others, and limited musical career to not sound like Phish, even though I'm very influenced by them.
Sure.
And I think that the bandmates I was with also felt the same way, that we can improvise, but we want to improvise like us.
Right.
And I think the members of Phish would tell everyone, we should only sound like us because we are the filter of the world goes through us as we improvise.
Correct.
So we are 4 men who have our own personalities and our own desires, and they affect the sound. So if you are a band creating this sound, you should sound like you and not like us.
Yeah.
And I think that's what hurts me with most jam bands now, is that they're trying to sound like other people rather than just being themselves. And
yeah.
I don't want to be a therapist here, but once you get around to understanding that you are who you should be and that you're making the sound that you should make for you rather than trying to show off or trying to be someone else or trying to mimic this, then you actually start to break some ground. And when I listen to a lot of bands now, I don't hear that.
That's true. I'm going to take a quick defense of Goose and say that when I was listening to their show, they didn't sound like Phish. They just don't sound like Phish. They sound more like Tame Impala, but they're taking from Phish. Like they're picking and choosing the stuff, but they have a much more modern sound. But yeah, I mean, you're not totally wrong. And I think it's something that all young bands struggle with, or young artists struggle with, is that, you have your heroes and they're kind of like teaching you your licks and your moves, and then you got to kill mommy and you got to but they're still so young that I just don't want to be too hard on them. And I think I chose that song "Flow Down" because I really do enjoy it, but there are parts of it that are not Fishy at all and are very Goosey, and and they have good voices, and so yeah, I don't know if they're falling into that same problem category that like maybe Disco Biscuits or Sector 9 or Mo, some other bands have fallen into.
I'll try.
I'm not even saying you should try. I'm honestly not even saying that. I'm not listening to Goose jams. I am like not going and listening to live shows, but I am listening to their studio albums and what they're releasing because I'm trying to keep up. Yeah. I'm trying not to be an old man. I want to know what's happening in the world.
Well, my obsession this week has been power pop, and I've been going through bands I love and albums I used to love and forgotten about, and my obsession again this week was I'd totally forgotten about Fountains of Wayne, Welcome Interstate Managers. It's got Stacy's mom. It was like their breakthrough record.
Yeah, I remember it.
Fuck, that is such a good album.
Nice. Okay,
I
I'll listen to
love
it.
pop music. I love power pop music. I think it's like if They Might Be Giants could write perfect pop songs one after the other.
Yeah.
It is like it's New England twangy white man, just gorgeous guitar power rock. And there's 5 styles of music on there, but it's still always poppy. It's always like out front. I don't know. Sometimes you just want to like those things that just pat you on the back and make you feel good.
Yeah, totally.
That album, I mean, I feel like you could throw that. I could be having a total panic meltdown and put that on and be like, all right, I'm fine. Everything's fine now. I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, and it kind of like, it has a lot of, like any really good pop and power pop has, there's a lot of really sad, dark elements to the songs.
Right.
Wrapped in these like sunshiny little turns of melody. And it's great stuff.
All right, Fountains of Wayne. Get on it.
Yeah,
folks.
get after some Fountains of Wayne. I mean, that was their like pop moment, but they have a lot of really good material and really well written material out there. So get after it.
Well, you know, Sam, I like to soundtrack me and my family's life to an annoying extent. And
so you're listening to Encanto a lot,
yeah.
like me, no?
Actually, I've been trying to talk my kids into watching Encanto with me, and they won't. They
Dude,
watched it without me.
Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote those songs.
I know, yeah.
They are
like, I'm sure they're very catchy. What's wrong with Bruno?
Really,
or we
really,
don't talk about Bruno, right? Yeah.
Bruno's great,
yeah.
But Surface Pressure is the shit.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I mean, my kids would be so proud of me now.
Uh-huh.
And my older daughter really likes like Alone in My Room because she's 9, but somehow she's a teenager.
Yeah.
But there are so many good songs, and it's a really well-made movie.
Right.
And I just saw Sing 2 in the theaters with them a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And also, baller movie, really great, magical music film. Like it is on the big screen. I'd go see it again just by myself. I get high and go watch Sing 2 in the theater.
I'm going to watch it, but I'm a little angry at Sing 2 right now because they're trying to charge $25 for a rental. And I just think that's insulting. Yeah. At least give it to me for $25.
No, I loved it. And honestly, so when they're driving into, it's like small town, they go to the big town.
Uh-huh.
When they're driving in, there's a song from Deserter Songs, a Mercury Rev song.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck is happening? I'm at a kid's movie listening to Mercury Rev. Am I this old? Is this like old people music? I was really confused.
There's a couple dudes just like you and me that ended up getting our fucking dream jobs choosing songs for music. I know, it's horrible. Yes.
What did we do wrong?
We didn't move.
How did we not?
We didn't move to Los Angeles or New York. That's what we did wrong.
Boy, I don't want to live in either of those.
No, I know. It was a conscious decision. Well, before
don't we work from home now?
Before we got off on the tangent, I was gonna just recommend. I said I was soundtracking my life, and my boys were in soccer.
Sorry.
So I was like choosing kick theme songs. We listened to little Lou Reed kicks, which is not probably children appropriate, but they didn't know the difference.
In Excess Kick.
Then we listened to In Excess Kick,
baby,
and my God, the way through
single song,
every song. What?
Yeah. That's one of my vinyl go-tos. I'm like,
Jesus.
If I'm throwing records on and there's people hanging out, I'm like, that's one of my go-tos. It is so good.
When Susie was in the car, and she was just like, after like 5 or 6 songs, she was like, damn, like I forgot. Yeah. I had that album on cassette, and I used to listen to it all the way through, but it's just been years. So yeah, that was great. All right. Well, let's kick it on out of here, Sam.
Yeah, I'm ready. Episode 18, when I see you next, will be 6/22/94. We're staying in June 94.
Yeah.
It's a very different show.
We'll be discussing the book.
We'll be discussing the book. It's our first, real big Mike's sandwich.
Yep.
It's like I said, very different show.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about it. I haven't listened to it in a very long time, and I've been kind of catching up. It's going to be fun.
Used to use part of the show as my depression cure. When I was feeling down, I would throw on a little section of this show it always brought a smile to my heart. And we'll discuss that. All right, everyone. Take care. Sam, miss you. Talk to you soon.
You too. Okay. It's been a pleasure. We'll talk soon, buddy.
Bye.
Bye. Hello there, friends, and thank you for listening. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or would like to reach out to Ian and I about anything at all, you can find us at companion2thecompanion@gmail.com.